Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Moreno, and today we're going to be talking about Big Tobacco's marketing tactics. So a little background on myself and the council. I'm a tobacco prevention coordinator at the Recovery Resource Council in the Prevention Resource Center. So I know it's kind of a mouthful, but basically as a tobacco prevention coordinator, I work with the Texas State Comptroller to do tobacco compliance checks. So the Texas State Comptroller is the main office in Texas that's responsible for tobacco law regulation in Texas. So when I go to check on tobacco retailers, which is anywhere in North Texas, if you see the little Prevention Resource Region 3 logo right there, and that little outline in North Texas is where Region 3 is. So basically within that space in Texas, I go to gas stations, grocery stores, cigar shops, hookah lounges, and sometimes even vape shops, basically anywhere that you can think of that sells tobacco. I go and visit and make sure that they're following all tobacco laws and teach them about them if they aren't already familiar with them. I'm also a part of organizations in the community that want to reduce drug use and promote healthy lifestyles. Sometimes I visit elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, juvenile detention centers, and other adults in the community to talk to them about the effects of tobacco use. So perfect. Before I get started, I just wanted to say sorry for all the weird stuff that's going on right now. I know all of your situations are unique, and it stinks that I can't speak with you all directly, but for now, we're doing digital learning, and that's the next best thing. So let's get started. So before we get started, I've got some pre-tests for you guys. If you wouldn't mind going to the link on the left or using the QR code on the right to access the pre-test. Your responses and your feedback help me so much to become a better presenter. So thank you so much for your feedback. And once you finish those, just come right back so we can get started. Great, thank you all so much for taking those pre-tests. So today we're going to be talking about what marketing is, how big tobacco marketing is different. We're going to be talking about the 4 P's of marketing. We're going to be talking about the legal troubles that big tobacco has been in because of their marketing. And we're going to be talking about marketing and big tobacco's marketing through the years. And then finally, we're going to talk about what you can do to promote tobacco prevention. So some things I'd like for you all to take special note of as we're going through this presentation is, of course, the 4 P's of marketing, how the tobacco industry uses their 4 P's of marketing, the tobacco industry's history of legal troubles, the tobacco industry's marketing as we go over different time periods, and the resources that I'll be presenting at the end to help with tobacco prevention. So before we can talk about big tobacco and their specific dirty tricks that they like to play in marketing, we first must have a good foundational understanding of what marketing is in general and how it works. In short, marketing is the process of figuring out what people need and giving it to them. Because marketing is used to invite people to buy a product, it's the root of all money the business or company makes. So we can easily see why marketing is so important. Some things to keep in mind as we go over tobacco marketing are the 4 P's of marketing, or product, price, promotion, and place. Product is all about, well, the product the company or business intends to sell. So the product itself should be for the ideal customer. So if I'm starting a bubblegum company for kids, the flavors should be fruit or candy flavored, not flavors that adults might like, such as coffee. The next P, price, means the product should be priced reasonably and competitively. So my packs of bubblegum shouldn't cost more than $3 or so, because if the price is any higher, other bubblegum brands that are cheaper might seem more appealing to kids with a limited allowance or to their parents that might purchase the gum for them. The next P, promotion, is about how the marketing happens. So if kids watch cartoons, I might want to have a commercial of my bubblegum on those TV channels or advertise my bubblegum with flashy, fun signs outside of a store. The last P is place, or where products will be sold. So maybe I'd want my bubblegum to be close to the other candies at the very front of the store. So as we see, marketing is the backbone of a successful business, but not all businesses play nice when it comes to marketing. Now that we have a good understanding of what marketing is, let's talk about how big tobacco's marketing is different from other products that are being marketed. We can start by going over Big Tobacco's 4 P's of marketing. Starting with the first P, product. The tobacco industry has tons of products, such as cigarettes, e-cigarettes, cigars, cigarillos, smokeless tobacco, dissolvable tobacco, and pipes. Because tobacco contains nicotine, all tobacco products are incredibly addictive. In fact, Big Tobacco genetically engineers their tobacco crops to contain 2 times the amount of nicotine, slowly making them more and more addictive. Chemicals to increase the amount of nicotine in the lungs, and sugars and flavors to mask the harshness of smoke, all make tobacco products easier to sell. Nicotine rewires your brain, making tobacco a need, causing addiction. This would allow Big Tobacco to profit off of consumers' addiction. Wouldn't you say Big Tobacco has the perfect product? The next P is price. Tobacco products are intentionally sold super cheap. Can you imagine starting a lifetime addiction with less than $1? Big Tobacco uses this tactic to target low-income people. In 2018, the tobacco industry spent $9.1 billion on marketing. This is about $26 million every single day, or about $1 million every hour. Without a doubt, the tobacco industry spends big bucks on marketing. They know they have an addictive product, and making them cheap is worth all the future purchases a consumer will make if they become addicted to nicotine for life. The next P is promotion. Big Tobacco targets you in sneaky ways you might not even realize. With colorful packaging, fun flavors, and sleek designs, they seem like the next best thing. The tobacco industry has been known to specifically market kids. In fact, when Juul was new to the market, they met with high school students and spoke with them about Juul and how to use the product, and claimed that Juul was totally safe. Who does it look like they're marketing to? All of these things would easily grab the attention of teens and young people like you. But how is that allowed? Well, investigations are currently underway, and various e-cigarette companies like Juul have already been sued for many claims similar to marketing to kids. Besides, it wouldn't be the first time Big Tobacco got into legal trouble, but we'll get into that later. The last P is place. Placement is everything, and Big Tobacco knows exactly what they're doing when it comes to knowing where to place their products. The tobacco power wall, or that middle photo here, can be found in every gas station. It kind of devours you every time you walk in or pay. Big Tobacco knows every kid will see this setup when they walk in, and they pay big money to have their setup in that exact location. Do you remember those $9.1 billion the tobacco industry spent in 2018 in marketing? Well, 95% of that $9.1 billion went here. This placement is what gets new smokers to start and lifetime smokers to continue using tobacco. As you might imagine, the tobacco industry has quite the history when it comes to legal battles. Big Tobacco's legal troubles all began back in 1994, after lots of their documents had been leaked, showing that the tobacco industry knew that tobacco was an addictive product and caused life-threatening diseases, such as various cancers and lung injuries, which they actually lied about under oath in the courtroom. Their documents also showed that they were intentionally trying to market to kids as young as 9 years old by putting more tobacco products closer to the schools and giving kids free tobacco merch, and they even told stores to leave tobacco products out in the front, close to the candy, knowing that kids would steal them. They then told the store managers to let the kids steal the products and to not worry because the tobacco companies would replace the stolen products for free. Big Tobacco wasn't worried about a few packs of stolen cigarettes. In fact, they estimated if kids stole anywhere from 5 to 10 packs of cigarettes, they would have a smoker for life. The tobacco industry has always looked at kids as replacement smokers, meaning they think you will take the place of someone that has died from smoking-related illnesses. That's all they see you as, just more money, a replacement. But you're no replacement, you're you. Don't let Big Tobacco try and fool you. In 1994, Mississippi became the first state to sue the tobacco industry. Then Florida, Minnesota, and our state of Texas followed by all filing individual settlements. And then in 1998, all of the other 46 states filed similar disputes. And in 1998, the tobacco industry approved a 46-state, so all the other states, a master settlement agreement, the largest in history, totaling nearly $206 billion to be paid to those states through the year 2025. But how did this all even happen? Well, after the documents were exposed and smoking became more and more popular, states saw more and more smoking-related illnesses and deaths. And because many public hospitals were run by taxpayer money, states were angry and began suing the tobacco industry, claiming that they wanted more money for all the people that had become sick from smoking. And even though $206 billion is a staggering amount of money, that's what the tobacco industry was willing to pay to be forgiven and avoid additional lawsuits. Then, in 1999, the U.S. Department of Justice decided to sue Big Tobacco under the Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act, or the RICO Act. The violations were related to the hazards of smoking, or lying about tobacco harms, nature of addiction, denying they were selling an addictive product, nicotine manipulation, basically using addiction for profit, light cigarettes. So they used to market some cigarettes as light cigarettes, claiming they were safer and contained less tar. However, they were just as harmful as the regular ones. Secondhand smoke. This is when other smokers would exhale the dangerous fumes of tobacco products in open spaces where others were close by, causing them harm as well. Marketing to youth, and suppression of information or keeping information from the public. The U.S. government wanted Big Tobacco to stop lying about the effects of tobacco and their marketing strategies. Then, finally, in 2006, corrective statements were mandated as a result of the trial. So, because they lied and deceived the public about literally almost everything they said, the federal government ordered them to come clean and tell the public the truth. So, they had to run corrective statements like the ones we see here, and videos all over the TVs, radios, newspapers, and magazines. Also, they were banned from using terms such as low tar, light, ultralight, mild, and natural that was meant to confuse customers. They also had to make documentation that was used in the trial public and are now required to submit a yearly report to the U.S. government on their marketing strategies. But even though those things were ordered way back in 2006, because the tobacco industry kept fighting and fighting, claiming that they shouldn't have been punished for past wrongdoing, these changes weren't finalized until over a decade later, not until 2017. This case and the corrective statements are a reminder that tobacco's horrific toll is no accident. It stems directly from the tobacco industry's deceptive and illegal practices. In the eyes of the law, Big Tobacco is a con artist and a fraud. So, as we saw, the tobacco industry got into some pretty huge trouble when it came to their marketing. Let's take a look at the marketing tactics they used in the past. Way before we knew everything we know now about tobacco harms, cigarette advertisements were testimonies by doctors, dentists, and even scientists. Also, advertisements by celebrities such as actors like Lucille Ball from I Love Lucy and athletes like champion skater Jack Shee were seen on advertisements everywhere. In the 60s, anti-smoking organizations had been created following new research that suggested smoking wasn't all that. So, anti-smoking organizations filed complaints with television and radio stations claiming they should provide free airtime for anti-smoking advertisements whenever a paid cigarette advertisement was aired. They agreed, and this went on for 3 years, and states saw great declines in cigarette use. However, the tobacco industry was not happy and decided to remove all cigarette advertising on televisions and radios. By doing so, so did the anti-smoking advertisements, which led back to an increase in cigarette use. In 1970, after the Public Health Cigarette Smoking Act of 1969 went into effect, cigarette ads were banned on televisions and radios. During the 80s and 90s, cigarette companies heavily targeted menthol cigarette advertising to the Black community in magazines, billboards, entertainment, sports, cultural events, and political literacy campaigns. In fact, advertisements for tobacco products were placed in Black communities 4 to 5 times more than in white communities. A little fast forward to today, Big Tobacco still targets Black communities more than white communities, They even started creating camel cartoons and started giving away tobacco merch to kids at events and concerts. Some events included elementary school programs in Houston, sponsorships for the San Antonio Rodeo, tennis tournaments in Houston, and various drag races, tractor pulls, motocross competitions, races, and monster truck jams. In 1984, the Federal Cigarette Labeling and Advertising Act forced cigarette companies to place U.S. Surgeon General warnings on all cigarette packs and advertisements, so that's why we see those there at the bottom. Additionally, when the tobacco industry started getting into big legal trouble in the late 90s, they did tons and tons of lobbying. So lobbying is when you seek to influence or change an issue. In fact, the tobacco industry spent millions in efforts to influence Texas legislation by donating money to the House of Representatives, senators, Texas lawmakers, and some political groups. They even made donations to various Texas groups such as the Mexican American Chamber, Texas Women's Alliance, Texas Black Caucus, Hispanic Women's Leadership, North Texas Public Broadcasting, and Texas Christian University, or TCU, all tactics to keep their deadly products on the shelves. In the early 2000s, the tobacco industry wanted to depict rebellious, hip, free thinking among young people who looked cool, laid back, and fun. Ads highlighted taking risks, asserting themselves, and ignoring authority. Then, in 2010, the Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act did not allow tobacco companies to sponsor sports, music, and other cultural events to display their logos, products, or merch. So, because e-cigarettes are not addressed in the Public Health Cigarette Smoking Act of 1969, they've been able to advertise their products on nearly any media outlet. In fact, according to a congressional testimony, Juul has targeted kids as young as 3rd grade by funding summer camps, visiting schools, and paying community and church groups to distribute their materials. Then, after much controversy on Juul targeting kids, Juul announced they would suspend all broadcast, print, and digital advertising in the U.S. However, studies show that most young people are likely to see e-cigarette advertisements in stores. That's right, in those nice, fancy, flashy cases, close to all of the other tobacco products. Besides, is there really a need to keep advertising if young people are already using them and showing them to their friends? They're doing the work for them. Big Tobacco has turned it to Big Vape as tobacco continues to find its way to young people. So I know that was a lot of information and almost a little discouraging, but you can definitely do so much to help others from being deceived by big tobacco. A super important thing you can do is promote cessation tools or quit aids to those that may be ready to quit. All of these presented here can be done online or over the phone via call or text. Another thing you can do is start tobacco prevention organizations in your school or in your community. You have so much more power than you realize, and your voice can help others know the truth. All of the websites here offer great information that'll help you get started and always keep you updated on the facts. To sum it up, we talked about the 4 P's of marketing, Big Tobacco's 4 P's of marketing, Big Tobacco's history of legal troubles, Big Tobacco's marketing over different time periods, and we talked about ways that you can help with tobacco prevention. Super quick before we close, I'd love for y'all to take the post test. I know y'all completed the pre-test at the beginning, so please just finish this up and follow this link or QR code to complete your post test. Thank you all so much for staying with me. I greatly appreciate all of your responses and feedback. Thank you for watching and stay safe, everyone. Thank you. Bye.